Good morning, students. We now begin with the English for Standard 5, Unit 1, Wonderful Waste. Waste can be quite useful. Find out for yourself from this story. So, now this story is something about some waste. Waste that is used and it becomes wonderful. So now let us read and find out which waste has become wonderful. Once the Maharaja of Travancore ordered a grand dinner in his palace. In the afternoon before the dinner, the Maharaja entered the kitchen to survey the dishes that had been prepared for the feast. So once the Maharaja of Travancore is a place in the south near Kerala. So this Maharaja, he had organized a grand dinner in his palace. So on that day in the afternoon, he went into his kitchen to survey all dishes that were being prepared by the cook for that feast, because it was a very grand feast. What are you going to do with those vegetable scraps? He asked the cook, pointing to the basket of scraps near the cook. So the Maharaja had pointed out to one of the baskets which was lying near the cook, and in that basket all the vegetable scraps were remaining. Which scraps were they? The scraps which were left after taking the good part of that vegetable which had already been cooked, and the unwanted part which was not needed was in the basket. So the Maharaja asked the cook that what was he going to do with all that scrap he had collected in the basket. The cook replied, "They are waste. We will throw them away." So the cook replied to the Maharaja that all this is the waste, and whatever was needed we have taken and we have cooked it, and all this will be thrown away. You cannot waste all these bits and pieces of vegetables. Find a way to use them. The Maharaja commanded sternly and walked away. So the Maharaja commanded the cook that whatever waste is there in that basket, all those scraps of vegetables which are a waste, the cook has to think about it and use it again and not to throw it away. He said these words and he went away from the kitchen. The cook was in a fix and kept staring at the vegetable scraps for some time. So the cook was in a fix means he started thinking, he was confused that what did the Maharaja say, and he's just gone from the kitchen. What is he going to do with all these vegetable scraps? Suddenly, an idea flashed across his mind. He took all the vegetable bits, washed them, and cleaned them well. So as soon as he was staring at the vegetables, thinking what to do with all these scraps, an idea came into the cook's mind. He took all that basket of scraps. He again cleaned those parts which were scraps, unwanted, wasted parts. He washed them and cleaned them well, and he started thinking and doing something with that waste. Then he cut them into long strips. He put them in a huge pot and placed it on the fire to cook. Now he cut all these scraps that he had taken and cleaned and washed. He cut them into long strips and he put them into a huge pot to cook over the fire. Next, he ground some fresh coconut, green chilies, and garlic together. Now then he started adding all the masalas. So first what he added, he grinded fresh coconut, green chilies and garlic together, and that paste he added into those vegetables which were being cooked. He added this paste and some salt to the cooking vegetables. A tempting smell started coming from the pot. So as the vegetables were being cooked, a wonderful smell started coming out as it was being cooked. Now he whipped some curd and added it to the curry. He also poured a few spoonfuls of coconut oil and decorated the dish with curry leaves. After adding the coconut and ginger garlic and chili paste, he added some whipped curd into it and then a few spoons of coconut oil, and then he decorated the dish which was prepared with curry leaves. Lo and behold, the new dish was ready. Lo and behold means to what a surprise, a beautiful tasty dish was ready. The cook served this new dish to the guests that evening. Now the cook served this decorated dish with curry leaves and everything to all the guests who had come for the feast. Everyone was eager to know the name of the new dish. So now everybody wanted to know because it was very tasty and tempting. So all wanted to know that what was the name of this new dish. The cook thought and thought. So the cook did not know because he had just prepared it, whatever came into his mind. So he started thinking that what name should be given. Then a name came to his mind. He named it avial. Then he thought of a name and he gave the dish a name called avial. Avial became famous all over Kerala and is now one of the dishes in a traditional Kerala feast. Now this dish has become so famous that it is still being used and cooked for many traditional feasts that are celebrated in Kerala. And imagine, it all came from a basket of waste. So from all the waste, a beautiful, tempting, wonderful, tasty dish was prepared and it is still being used in Kerala. So now let us learn new phrases and their meanings. In a fix, a situation hard to escape from. Flash across the mind. Suddenly think of. Lo and behold. Look, what a surprise. Traditional feast. Hearty meal for many guests served on a special occasion. So now here are few question answers. Your first question: what were the preparations in the palace for? Answer 1. The preparations were for a grand dinner in the palace. I repeat, the preparations were for a grand dinner in the palace. Question 2. Why did the Maharaja go into the kitchen in the afternoon? Answer 2. The Maharaja went into the kitchen in the afternoon to survey the dishes prepared for the feast. I repeat, the Maharaja went into the kitchen in the afternoon to survey the dishes prepared for the feast. Question 3. What had the cook planned to do with the vegetable scrap? Answer 3. The cook had planned to throw away the vegetable scrap. I repeat, the cook had planned to throw away the vegetable scrap. Question 4. Which ingredients are used to make avial dish? Answer 4. Ingredients used to make avial dish are vegetables, fresh coconut, green chilies, some curd, curry leaves, coconut oil and garlic. I repeat, ingredients used to make avial dish are vegetables, fresh coconut, green chilies, some curd, curry leaves, coconut oil, and garlic. State whether true or false. First one. The king had ordered a dinner in the palace. True. Second one. No one had heard of or tasted avial before. True. Third. The cook had planned to make another dish using the vegetable scraps. False. So students, I hope you all have understood the story. So kindly write the new words, the phrases that we have done in your notebooks, the question answers and the true and false. Try to write with a neat handwriting into your English notebooks after the Ice Cream Man poem. Thank you.